You said, I wish people would better understand the roots of Hamas, the roots of Islamism, the roots of the jihadi-inspired armed resistance. Remember, Hamas started in the 80s by attacking women and throwing acid in their faces so they would cover up, and by killing innocent Palestinians suspected of being collaborators with Israel. That's how Hamas began. And I wanted to ask you, when you say this, is this, in your mind, are you speaking to the pro-Palestine crowd of violent protesters on the streets and on college campuses who think Hamas are the good guys?
Yes. Unfortunately, this speaks to the people who think Hamas is an organic expression of resistance. And this is my desire, is to let them know that if you're a believer in intersectionality and in women's rights and in immigrant rights and in LGBT issues and in reproductive rights, and somehow you're able to, not understand that Hamas, goes in complete opposition to all of the aforementioned by virtue of their framing, by virtue of their roots, understanding the Muslim Brotherhood and how the Muslim Brotherhood as a core idea that then had a bunch of deviations, some of which led to Hamas, some of which led to Al-Qaeda, some of which have led to an even horrendous mutation like ISIS, then you don't really know what you're talking about. And to think of Hamas as a pure, like, as long as there's occupation, there will always be Hamas. I actually, on its surface, that sounds reasonable. But if you actually understand it, like what is resistance? Resistance isn't Hamas and tunnels and rockets and this. Resistance is, some Palestinians view their mere existence as a form of resistance, persevering on their land as a form of resistance to coexistence and nation building and persevering. That is something that I want the pro-Palestine community in the diaspora to understand, because guess what? The people of Gaza, if you go right now and talk to most people in Gaza about Hamas and they're an organic resistance and they're the heroes and they're this and that, they're not going to hear you. So like, there's a disconnect between people on the ground and the people abroad who are claiming to be angry on behalf of the Gazans.